Welcome class of 2023 and welcome parents to our 9th grade and new student orientation PowerPoint overview. This is an exciting time for you and your children as they enter the high school. We'll hopefully be able to answer your questions about high school life and a general overview through this informational presentation. Please also feel free to contact the high school main office with any questions you might have. Please also refer to this document for phone numbers, email addresses, etc. of the important people who will be presented in this information. At this point, I'd like to start by introducing some key people in the building. You'll rely on these folks for support and guidance as you make your way through the next 4 years of your life as an Elizabeth Forward warrior. Building principal of Elizabeth Forward High School is Mr. Michael Ralph. Assistant principal Mrs. Heather Hibner oversees 9th and 10th grade students. Assistant Principal Dr. Anthony Popowitz oversees 11th and 12th grade students. The athletic director for the district is Mr. Tim Guffey. Mrs. Ambler and Mrs. Curran are office secretaries. Mrs. Starmack is the athletic secretary, and Mrs. Fusco is the guidance secretary. Mrs. Girl is our guidance counselor and oversees students whose last names begin with A through LE. Mr. McManus is the guidance counselor who oversees students whose last name begin with LI through Z. Mrs. Scalfari serves as a 6th through 12 school counselor and specifically oversees transition of students from 8th to 9th grade. Some additional support staff are Ms. Kim Herbst, school nurse, Mr. Michael Huber, transition coordinator, Ms. Kristen Savarelli, food service director, Ms. Cindy Schlesinger from PA Coach Lines, Mrs. Sarah Cope is the PBIS facilitator and SAP coordinator, and Mr. Chris McBride is a school resource officer. All presented information can also be found in our student handbook. Each new student receives a hard copy of this document, but this document is also available for download on our website. PBIS is a proactive system-wide approach to establishing behavioral expectations and school culture needed for all students in our school to achieve social, emotional, and academic success. At the core of PBIS are the behaviors that are expected from every student that enters the building. We refer to those as the brave expectations, as we want all of our warriors to be brave. These behaviors are clearly displayed on the classroom walls, in the cafeteria, in the hallways, in the restrooms, and in the stairwells at our school. The PBIS goals are to increase appropriate and safe behaviors, decrease time spent disciplining students, increase instructional time, create a positive school climate, and create more positive interactions between staff and students. The school district attendance policy allows students 3 school days to turn in an excuse explaining their absence to the attendance office. The student will have an opportunity to complete makeup work when they are absent. However, upon the second and subsequent unexcused absence, any work submitted will become a 0. The school will notify the family upon the 1st, 3rd, and 4th incident of unexcused absence. Upon the 6th unexcused absence, the student and parent will be cited. Up to 5 educational vacation days can be granted at administrative discretion per student per school year. Forms for educational vacation days can be received in the high school main office. It is understood that some mornings are more chaotic than others, which would inevitably cause a delay in the arrival to school. Students should accompany their tardiness with a parent or doctor's note. However, upon the 5th non-medical tardy, students could receive 1 day of after-school detention and loss of extracurriculars. Upon the 10th non-medical tardy, students can receive 1 day of ISS as well as loss of extracurricular activities. Upon the 15th non-medical tardy, 1 day of ISS as well as magistrate citation and loss of extracurriculars for the remainder of the school year can occur. This includes loss of driving privileges as well as potential exclusion from senior activities. Early dismissals. Students will be permitted to leave school early with a parent written excuse up to 5 times in a school year. After 5 parent-guardian written notes, the student will be required to bring in a medical excuse for each subsequent early dismissal. If a medical excuse is not received upon return to school, students will be marked unexcused, unlawfully absent. Any missed assignment, therefore, would result in a grade of 0. School safety. Mr. Chris McBride serves as the school resource officer for the high school. Mr. Harry Keffer serves as the armed security. Additionally, emergency preparedness drills occur monthly, and visitors are required to go through the Raptor entry system. Personal electronic devices. From 7 a.m. to 2:20, personal electronic devices are permitted to be used during transitional times in the halls, common areas, cafeteria, media center, and study halls. At teacher discretion only can personal electronic devices be used for instructional purposes in the classrooms. Bullying, inappropriate, or harassing text messages, unauthorized videotaping or photographing, accessing or sharing inappropriate or profane material, and cheating are not permitted and will be dealt with under the Code of Conduct. Violations of this rule will result in disciplinary action and possible law enforcement involvement. The open use of PEDs is strictly forbidden in locker rooms, pool areas, and restrooms. Headphones must be used when listening to any PED device for free time pleasure. PEDs must be put away when testing or when in any testing area of the building. They cannot be used during in-school suspension or detention. School dress code. T-shirts or other clothing promoting obscene, profane, and other content likely to disrupt the educational process and messages promoting drugs or alcohol are not permitted. Tank tops, halter tops, bare midriffs, and other provocative apparel are not permitted. Shoulders must be covered as per the dress code policy. The wearing of hats, hoods, sunglasses, or other headwear in the school building is not permitted. Jeans and pants may not have tears or holes above the knee and should not expose body or underwear. Sag style is not permitted. Locker rooms. Lockers are provided for personal items to be stored. Students are encouraged to bring their own lock to secure their items during their class period. Appropriate behavior is expected in the locker rooms and no electronic devices are permitted to be used while in the locker room. Discipline levels. Level 1 of discipline includes things such as tardiness to class, minor disruptions in the hall, cafeteria, library, etc. Level 2 includes things such as class cut, leaving school without permission, violation of transportation regulations. Level 3 violations include tobacco violations, fighting, disorderly conduct, breaking into another student's locker, theft, unacceptable language directed to an admin, faculty, or staff member. Level 4 violations include alcohol or drug use, possession of a weapon, damage to school property, verbal or physical assault, and bomb threats. All of these can additionally be found within the student handbook. We would like to welcome you to Elizabeth Forward High School, and I look forward to watching you grow over the next 4 years. Be sure to become involved in your school community and take advantage of every opportunity that is afforded to the Elizabeth Forward High School community.